Hey guys, Brian, the Lovers You the Goods here. I'm returning to you this afternoon for album review, another album review. Excuse me, I was actually drinking a can of Sprite for a moment. Yeah, I did it again, so please forgive me on my burping or whatever. I just had to let it out for a moment. I'm returning to you for an album review for Thornhill's new album, Heroine, that I just got done listening to for this new Thornhill album, and that was a ding from my phone, if you're wondering. Um, so I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for this new album by Thornhill, and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review. Now this is coming out at midnight tonight, all the songs. So what did I think of this off the bat? It's meh. It's in the middle with me. Like, the Hellfire Club is the opening track, and that was like a 5 minute song. But it had some good guitar riffs and drum work. The lead singer, Jacob, not sure if I'm feeling for his vocals too much. Um, they're a little underwhelming and just whiny. And just to make a little comparison, with the opening part of the album, they sound like Deftones for sure. So it seems like they're ripping off from Deftones a little bit. Not with Jacob's high pitches, because that's a little different sounding, but majority wise, they're trying to rip off Deftones a bit. Because Deftones actually pulls it off with the music they make, because they can make some good songs. And in my personal opinion, I love Deftones. And I have their latest album, Ohms, and that was such a great album from start to finish. I think it made Album of the Year for 2020, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Hellfire Club's getting a 3.5 out of 5. Not really sure if I like it, but it's average. I think the instrumentation in it's pretty good, and some of the mixing's alright, but Jacob kind of ruins the song with his vocals a bit, in my personal opinion. Leather Wings is the second song on the album, and that one was almost pretty bad. So, the problem I had with this song was just his vocals in the song sound very whiny and just like sort of boring too. It's just not really much of not really impressed with this song basically. So 3 out of 5 in my personal opinion. I think it's okay. Melody wise and instrumentally it's fine, but Jacob's vocals is the most underwhelming that I've heard through this album. Blue Velvet is the next song, and I think his vocals sound a little better, but it doesn't make the song sound that good. So, yeah, the vocally on this song, it's a mixed baggage. So you have good points and bad points with the song. And when he does his falsetto, whiny singing voice, I don't know if I like that because it makes it seem a little cringy to get through. So 3 out of 5 for Blue Velvet. Then we come to Archangel. I think it was the first single for the album. If I No, not the first single. It was the second or third single, or second single for this album. So Archangel is okay. It just has this goth emo feel for it with the song, with what it's going for. But it doesn't do bad. But in my personal opinion, I think instrumentally it sounds good. Jacob's vocals, like I said, underwhelming in my opinion. So 3.5 out of 5 for Archangel. I think it's grown on me a little bit, but not to the point where I love it. Valentine was the worst song on this album. Honestly, I just couldn't stand the whiny pitches from Jacob in this song vocally. He just didn't sound that good, and he kind of ruined the song a bit, so 2 out of 5 in my opinion. It was so underwhelming. So, next we have Casanova, and that was a pretty bad song. I'm not really feeling for this song, honestly. I thought I was gonna like this song and it was gonna grow on me, but I just think it's disappointing. So 2.5 out of 5. I just don't like drum melody wise, and the drum work in it sounds really good, but it's just Jacob vocally is ruining the song, and it just doesn't sound impressive. So it's a shame. 2.5 out of 5 for Casanova. Something Terrible Came with the Rain is not a bad song. I was not that disappointed with this one. It's an instrumental, or an interlude kind of song, so you're not in very long for this song. So there's no singing in it, so I'm like, yes, finally. Because I'm just feeling underwhelmed with his vocals through this majority of this album. So 4.5 out of 5 for Something Terrible Came with the Rain. I like the melody change ups in the song. It actually sounds pretty interesting. Hollywood was an average song. Not my personal favorite, but I think with what he's going for, I like the scream part at the bridge part of the song, close to the end of the song, and it sounds pretty good. So 3.5 out of 5 for Hollywood still. I'm not sure what I think of it, but I think it's alright. Raw is the song I reviewed maybe almost 10 days ago or something like that. But I didn't hate this song. I just think it's decent. It's grown on me drum wise, and Jacob's vocals can sound good, and then some moments where he kind of ruins it with his vocal potential. So when he does the whiny falsetto voice that he does, it just bothers me. So 4 out of 5 for Raw. It's not bad. It's a decent song. Uh, Her- Heroine and Varsity Hearts. Well, Heroine's the 11th track, the final song on the album, and Varsity Hearts is before that. So I'll start with Varsity Hearts. This one was okay. Not impressive, but okay, at least. It was a tolerable track to get through. So he does some whiny pitches with his vocals in this song, and I don't know if I feel for it, so 3 out of 5. And the final song, Heroine, it doesn't close badly, but melody wise, it's not bad. So Jacob's vocals was a little underwhelming, so yeah, 3 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution, I think Thornhill Heroine was disappointing. I'm not gonna remember this album for sure. I was just really bummed out with this album and kind of bored to death of it. So this is not an album I'm gonna return to for sure. So first score for me, I'm giving Thornhill Heroine a 5.5 out of 10. It's disappointing. I don't recommend checking it out. In my personal opinion, I don't recommend checking it out. If you want to check it out, you can, but you're not going to be in for a very impressive album. Impressive album, I meant to say. To me, I just find the vocals from the Valentine song to be the worst song on this album. And Casanova has good instrumentals, but Jacob's vocals is the problem with the song. Because it doesn't sound very well good. It's like he's echoing out his voice through the song. Through majority of the songs, he's echoing out his voice, and the instruments are really taking over with the whole track, sound wise. So yeah, they're putting more work into the instrumentals than with the singer himself. So it's kind of a shame, but hey, that's just my opinion. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of Thornhill's new album, Heroine, if you've heard it. I'm giving it a 5.5 out of 10. I just found it to be disappointing. And if you enjoyed this Thornhill new album, Heroine, like I said, if you did like it, that's fine by me. I just wasn't crazy for this album, and I was not impressed with the singles either. So I was expecting some disappointment with this album, and I did get some disappointment after listening to this album. So yeah, it's not a good album. If you did enjoy this album review, like I said, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I'm gonna write down and change up the ratings I gave for Valentine and Casanova and Raw as well. Because those songs, I think Raw and Something Terrible Came with the Rain were probably the stronger tracks on this album. And like I said, drum work, melody wise, doesn't sound bad, but the album is a mess with vocally. So I think Jacob really needs to step it up with his vocals next time around with his, and not try to have it echoed out too much, because that's where they're gonna be set up to fail with how the album's gonna execute. So it didn't perform very well in my opinion. So 5.5 out of 10. I will return to you for another album review, and it'll be for While She Sleeps' Sleep Society special edition, which is a 16-track album. I got an hour and 7 minutes to listen to for that album. And then it'll be Post Malone's 12 Carat Toothache. And I think I'm going to do a track review before I get to the next album review or whatever. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this album review for Thornhill Heroine. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. Stay safe, take care. This is all just my opinion at the end of the day. And as always, I'll see you in my next review.